And we're joined by Shona Harrison from the Central Okanagan Heritage Society in front of this wall facade that we've been looking at for about 4 years. And now we understand they are dismantling this brick wall, this piece of heritage, brick by brick.
Yes, that's our understanding too, much to our dismay. So this building is on the Heritage Registry. It's not designated, but it's on the Heritage Registry, which means that it has some sort of significance for the city. Clearly looking at it is obviously a heritage building. We were, as the Heritage Society, we wanted the whole building preserved. Of course, that's ideal. But if we look at it in terms of levels of conservation, having a facade is better than not having anything at all. We are heartbroken that it is coming down. We were not consulted at all, and I guess that's something that, as a heritage society with deep roots in Kelowna, that we really want to work collaboratively. Thank you. Collaboratively with developers and with the city, and try to preserve these buildings as best we can.
It's really been something the way we've seen this scaffolding just sitting there, and a couple of different proposals coming and going. How would you describe this phase of time?
Well, I'd like to say that I think that there's probably some responsibility on the developers when they purchase a heritage building, a building on the registry, that they need to respect that history. It's on there because of its significance. And so I'd like to see much more control over how these things are developed and how they're taken down, how they're incorporated into developments. So it's been quite a mess, quite a hard.
Yeah, and it does seem to demonstrate that being on that heritage registry doesn't really offer much protection.
It truly doesn't. Yes, and so we always encourage, with those buildings that are worthy of designation, we encourage that they go through that process to get designated, because then we have much more teeth, so to speak, to ensure that they're protected.
Is there anything about all this that's kind of been, something that your Heritage Society has learned from? Is there a lesson out of all this?
Unfortunately, I think it's just it's reminiscent of many other buildings that we've lost to the same kind of process.
Do we need better bylaws in place to give greater meaning?
To my mind, we do, and I think those communities that have heritage interests, such as Central Okanagan Heritage Society, the Geological Society, Historical Society, that are all very, very vested in preserving our past, that they need to be, forming some sort of a collective body in helping, working collaboratively with the city and with the developers to ensure that this kind of thing never happens again.
Thanks very much for this. Oh, but before we go, okay, so it's the Mark Anthony Group that owns the property.
Yes.
What's your plea to them right now?
My plea to the Mark Anthony Group is to cease demolishing this heritage structure. It's already suffered significant damage. If you could please just leave it, preserve it until something can be done with it. I know Mark Anthony has quite deep pockets, and so to my mind, I'm certain if they can undertake developing, they can certainly afford to have the scaffolding up for another 4 years, if that's what it needs.
No, please, not 4 more years of scaffolding.
I know, but it's better than losing the building.
Thanks for this, Shona. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for watching Kelowna Now.
We don't just report the news. We live here too. We're your neighbors, bringing you stories that matter to all of us. No government funding, no outside influence. Kelowna Now, local, independent. News you can trust.